The Transatlantic Slave Trade, a brutal chapter in human history spanning from the 16th to the 19th centuries, remains a profoundly significant event with lasting impacts reverberating through global demographics, economies, cultures, and societal structures to this day. While slavery itself has existed in various forms since antiquity, the transatlantic system was uniquely characterized by its massive scale, industrial organization, and racial justifications, fundamentally shaping the modern world. The motivations behind the trade were complex, rooted in the burgeoning mercantilist economies of Europe, the demand for labor-intensive crops in the Americas, and the establishment of plantation systems designed for maximum profit. European powers, Portugal, Spain, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and Denmark actively participated in and profited from the trade, establishing fortified trading posts along the West African coast. The trade operated through a complex network involving European merchants, African intermediaries, who often played a crucial role in capturing and selling slaves, and colonial planters. The capture of enslaved Africans was often violent, involving raids on villages, warfare between African groups, exacerbated by the demand for captives, and kidnapping. Individuals were forcibly removed from their homes, families were torn apart, and communities were devastated, leaving lasting scars on the social fabric of Africa. The Middle Passage, the transatlantic voyage from Africa to the Americas, was a horrific ordeal characterized by overcrowding, disease, malnutrition, and brutal treatment. Slaves were packed tightly into the holds of ships, often chained and unable to move, leading to widespread suffering and death. Estimates suggest that millions of Africans perished during the Middle Passage due to disease, starvation, dehydration, and violence. Those who survived the voyage were sold into slavery in the Americas, primarily in the Caribbean, Brazil, and North America. The enslaved were forced to work on plantations cultivating labor-intensive crops such as sugar, tobacco, cotton, and coffee, generating enormous wealth for European planters and merchants. Slaves were denied basic human rights, including freedom, education, and the right to family life, and were considered property. Resistance to slavery took various forms, including rebellion, sabotage, escape, and cultural preservation. Slave revolts, such as the Stono Rebellion in South Carolina and the Haitian Revolution, were significant challenges to the institution of slavery. The Haitian Revolution, led by Toussaint Louverture, resulted in the establishment of the first free Black Republic, a powerful symbol of resistance and liberation. Marronage, the formation of independent communities of escaped slaves, also represented a form of resistance, providing safe havens for those fleeing enslavement. The cultural practices of enslaved Africans, including music, dance, religion, and storytelling, were preserved and adapted in the Americas, contributing to the rich diversity of Afro-American cultures. The transatlantic slave trade had a devastating impact on African societies, leading to population loss, political instability, and economic disruption. The trade exacerbated existing conflicts between African groups and undermined traditional political structures, creating a legacy of instability that continues to affect the continent today. The demand for slaves also led to the rise of powerful African kingdoms that specialized in the slave trade, creating a complex and often brutal economic system. The trade also disrupted traditional economic activities, such as agriculture and manufacturing, leading to a decline in local economies. The transatlantic slave trade contributed significantly to the economic development of Europe and the Americas, providing cheap labor for the plantation system and fueling the growth of international trade. The wealth generated by the slave trade was used to finance the Industrial Revolution in Europe, contributing to the growth of capitalism and the modern global economy. The plantation system created a demand for manufactured goods from Europe, further fueling international trade and economic growth. The transatlantic slave trade had a lasting impact on the demographics of the Americas, leading to the creation of diverse populations of African descent. The descendants of enslaved Africans have played a significant role in the cultural, social, and political development of the Americas. However, the legacy of slavery continues to affect African Americans, including systemic racism, economic inequality, and social injustice. The concept of race was fundamentally shaped by the transatlantic slave trade, with the justification of slavery based on the belief in the inferiority of Africans. This racial ideology continues to have a profound impact on social and political relations in the Americas and around the world. The abolitionist movement, which fought to end slavery, emerged in the 18th and 19th centuries, challenging the moral and economic foundations of the institution. Key figures in the abolitionist movement, such as Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman, played a crucial role in raising awareness about the horrors of slavery and advocating for its end. The abolition of slavery was a gradual process, with different countries abolishing the institution at different times. The legacy of slavery continues to shape social and political relations in the Americas and around the world, including issues of racial inequality, economic injustice, and political representation. Reparations for slavery, which involve providing compensation to the descendants of enslaved Africans for the harm caused by the institution, are a growing movement in the Americas and around the world. Understanding the transatlantic slave trade is crucial for addressing the ongoing challenges of racial inequality and social injustice in the Americas and around the world. Museums and historical sites dedicated to the transatlantic slave trade play a crucial role in educating the public about the horrors of the institution and its lasting impact. The study of African diaspora, which examines the experiences of African people around the world, provides valuable insights into the lasting impact of the transatlantic slave trade. Commemorating the victims of the transatlantic slave trade is crucial for honoring their memory and raising awareness about the horrors of the institution.